Hi, my name is Cintana Ying from Year 11, and my TED with Physics is on the concept of convection current. What is convection? It is one of the three main types of heat transfer aside from conduction and radiation, and unlike the other two, convection can only happen in fluids such as liquids and gases, as it allows the molecules to move around freely. The heat transfer by the process of convection occurs as there are differences in temperature and densities between the two parts of a specific gas or liquid. Due to these differences, the hot fluids tend to rise while the cold fluids tend to sink. This can be further explained by the fact that when fluids are cooled, they contract, making them more dense, causing the fluid to sink, while when a fluid is heated, they expand and therefore become less dense, causing the fluid to rise or float. The concept of convection current can be shown with the help of the hot and cold water experiment. Materials needed for this experiment are two identical transparent bottles, food coloring, cold water, and hot water. First step is to add a few drops of food coloring into one of the bottles. Next, pour cold water into one of the bottles. Thirdly, pour hot water into the bottle with food coloring. Finally, carefully place the bottle of hot water on top of the cold water. As shown in the experiment, when hot water is placed above the cold water, the two liquids do not mix. This proves our theory that hot fluids rise and cold fluids sink. The process of convection current is used in our everyday life. For example, the air conditioner uses convection currents to cool a room. It is installed near the ceiling and gives out cold air. The cold air will then fall, causing the warm air to be pushed up. The warm air is then taken in by the air conditioner to cool. This process allows to circulate until a desired temperature is reached. Another example of convection current is the formation of clouds. The next experiment shown will be a visual representation of how clouds are formed. Materials needed are a glass jar, ice cubes, food coloring, hairspray, and hot water. Firstly, pour the colored hot water mixed with food coloring into the glass jar. Next, quickly spray the hairspray into the glass jar, and immediately put the lid onto the jar. Then, place around 3 to 5 ice cubes on the top of the lid. From this, we can see that clouds were formed within the jar, and when the lid is open, we can watch the cloud move out of the jar. In this experiment, when the hot water is poured inside the jar, the heat causes the air to heat up. This will then cause the water to evaporate, forming water vapor in the jar. This is a representation of water on the Earth's surface that heats up and evaporates. Once the vapor reaches the top of the jar, it will cool down due to the decrease in temperature of the lid and condense onto the hairspray particles, forming a cloud inside the jar. The cold air near the lid and the hot air near the water is what causes convection current to occur. This will conclude my TED with Physics. Thank you.